Well. G'day guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna be flying straight up the guts, all the way to the top end of the country, Darwin in the Northern Territory, from down in Adelaide, South Australia. Now it's gonna be my first time flying from Adelaide to Darwin. We're gonna be doing with Qantas on the Embraer E190, which I'm very much looking forward to. And it's been a good 3 or 4 years since I've flown on one of the E190s. By the way, I'm doing this intro while I'm in Singapore and I can hear some Air Force jets flying over. That's pretty cool actually, because I'm not too far from an Air Force base where I'm in just this nice little park here. Thought it'd be a nice little chill place, and that's why I'm sweating too, because it's obviously muggy here in Singapore. So today's flight is actually the first of 2 legs as we make our way up to Singapore. This one today, obviously heading up to Darwin. We'll have a few hours layover before heading on to Singapore later on in the afternoon, which will be next week's video. But yeah, guys, it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video, hasn't it? It's been about 7 months, I reckon. My last video would have been, December last year. That was the last time I hopped on a plane as well. Unfortunately, my goals this year don't really evolve around spending too much money flying and spending money on accommodation, etc. But yeah, of course, very happy and grateful to be going on a 6-week adventure, traveling throughout Singapore, Malaysia, up to Japan, where I'll be for a good 10, 11 days before meeting up with my partner Cindy over in China, where I'll spend 4 weeks. And even in China, I'm gonna be experiencing a couple of flights. One with a new aircraft, a Chinese-made aircraft too, so I'm really pumped about that. A few economy flights, a few budget flights, a few business class flights. There's a first class flight in there as well. So there's a whole bunch of different things to really cater for, so I'm really looking forward to it. As I said, 7 months, it's probably the longest break I've had from flying in such a long time, but we'll jump into this video today, get ourselves down to Adelaide Airport, make our way up to Darwin so we can start this journey. Cheers. All right, so I'm here at the airport now. Security wasn't too bad, only about 20 minutes to get through this morning. I was actually thinking it'd be a bit busier, but yeah, thankfully all the 6 AM departures have left. Super pumped for this flight. First one in 7 months, as we know. Bit tired, but we'll wake up soon, we'll go get some coffee and enjoy the day.
So before we make our way over to the gate, let's talk about how much I paid for this flight. Now I used a combination of frequent flyer points and dollars to pay the taxes. I booked today's 2-leg flight to Singapore 3 months out, so I'll give the total amount I paid all the way to Singapore, and then we can break that in half to roughly what this flight was today. So in total, I paid $207.49 to cover the taxes and 25,200 Qantas Frequent Flyer points. So for this flight, we'll say I paid just over $100 in taxes and about 12,600 points. Now after checking online 3 months out from today's video, you can generally find costs one-way direct with Qantas at over $500. And Classic Rewards will set you back 18,000 points and $87 in taxes. So I think it's fair to say I got a very good deal getting over to Singapore for as little as I did. Now Jetstar's the only other direct option to Darwin, with prices ranging from around $230 to $290 for that same period and direct. Keeping in mind both may be slightly cheaper if booked as a return.
I have found today's plane, the QantasLink Embraer E190. Looks like registration, I can't see it from here, but I'll pop that up after, I'll talk about it after. Yeah, I reckon it's been about 3 or 4 years since I've flown on an E190. That was from here in Adelaide up to Townsville about 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm really looking forward to flying on this plane today. One thing I love about these is obviously it's a 2x2 configuration in economy. So if I'm unlucky, I'm going to have someone sitting next to me, but hey, that's better than 2. But yesterday I noticed that they sent me an email saying $65 if you'd like to also buy the seat next to me. So there's a chance that means that there is no one sitting next to me today, which is a plus. But yeah, I'm pumped. This is the beginning of a 6-week adventure and really looking forward to it.
Today, we boarded from gate 25 and I made my way to seat 21A on the left side of the plane. Unfortunately, I haven't lucked out with the window today as it's quite dirty and not easy to get a decent view out. Now as mentioned, today is the Embraer E190, an efficient regional jet that QantasLink uses on thinner routes that don't quite justify a full Boeing or Airbus. And with just under 100 seats with a 2x2 layout, it's a great fit for this leg to Darwin. These E190s are actually owned and operated by Alliance Airlines, but fly under the QantasLink banner under a wet lease agreement. So it's sort of like a regional handshake deal that lets Qantas serve routes too small for their bigger aircraft. So Alliance provides their aircraft, maintenance and pilots, but at the same time, cabin crew wear Qantas uniforms, provide Qantas service, and as I've done, passengers book by the Qantas systems. Qantas introduced the E190s into service in 2021, and as of this video in 2025, Qantas are currently using 30 of these aircraft under this wet lease agreement. After a beautiful takeoff from runway 5, we banked left to begin our journey up the guts to Darwin. So today, we're expecting a 3-hour and 40-minute flight, which will cover a rough distance of 2,620 kilometers or 1,628 miles. Now, if you were to drive between Adelaide and Darwin, you would rack up 3,030 kilometers or 1,883 miles with non-stop driving between 30 and 35 hours. So realistically, a few days is the time taken between the two cities. There's also the famous Ghan railway journey which travels this route, taking 2 days and 2 nights depending on the season and stops along the way, as sometimes they take 3 days and 4 nights with overnight stops. It's actually named the Ghan, short of Afghan Express, in recognition of early Afghan cameleers. Not meant to be derogatory, but more of a historical nod to those who helped supply the outback carrying goods, supplies and mail from Adelaide up into the interior, including as far north as Darwin. Keeping in mind, some of these journeys will take around 3 to 4 months one way. Today, there is a breakfast service, and as I have a dietary requirement, I have a pea and spinach cake with tomato, potato, and ranch beans. Overall, it's a pretty healthy meal. Not the best breakfast I've had in the air, but certainly not the worst either. Now, one thing I've noticed which isn't good is the cabin upkeep. The tray tables are off access for myself and my neighbour. Now, the cabin crew noted this as well, and hopefully this will be passed on to Alliance for the repairs. Now, there isn't any Wi-Fi on the E190s, unlike the 737s, A220s and A330s, which fly domestically within Australia. But there is the Qantas Entertainment Wi-Fi, which works with the Qantas Entertainment app. But I usually download podcasts and have music on my phone ready, unless I want an update with the flight map to see where we are along the journey. One thing I will commend is the crew hospitality, which is great, and generally what I come to expect on Qantas flights. Today's flight has us cruising between 34 and 36,000 feet, with overall conditions fairly smooth along the way. A couple hours into the flight, a few snacks were passed out, which were followed up with some Lindt chocolates with about an hour to go. The climate shifts dramatically as you go north, as Adelaide has a more of a Mediterranean feel with mild winters and dry summers. Central Australia is desert, hot days, cold nights, and very dry, with the top end being Darwin has a tropical climate with hot and humid weather with a monsoon wet season. So I'm looking forward to getting outside Darwin Airport and feeling the warmth after coming from the cold weather down in Adelaide. But since it's time for our descent into Darwin, let's enjoy the landing and we'll wrap this video up just outside the airport, where I'll give my final thoughts on today's flight with Qantas on the E190.
All right, so we are off the plane, off the E190, and outside in the beautiful 26-degree Darwin weather. So yeah, straight up the guts, Adelaide to Darwin. Let's talk about the positives, and then we'll go through talk about the negatives, because you know there were some negatives on that flight, to be completely honest with you. Positives, of course, was flying on the E190 again. Yeah, as mentioned in the beginning, it was about, what, 3-4 years ago was the last time I flew one of those aircraft. So, and I do like them because, you know, same as today, I only had one neighbour next to me. You don't have two. Makes it a bit easier if you need to go up to the bathroom, these sorts of things. Another positive, Qantas crew, as general, they're all pretty friendly, to be honest. I've never really had too many negative experiences. Everyone has good days, everyone has bad days and everything like that. So I'm all, like, as you can see, decked out because 6-week journey, need to have a few things with me on this trip. So, but anyways, the negatives. So I don't know who is contracted to do the cleaning, but hell, it's pretty awful when you got like a chicken nugget sitting next to you. And it's also, aside from the cleaning, it's the tray tables too. So like the cabin maintenance is pretty horrible. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too good when, you know, it's dirty like that. It's not a very good impression, and especially the bloke next to me too, when he was having his meal, his tray table was like flipped one way, mine was flipped the other. So yeah, bit of a rundown plane, that one, but it is what it is. Still in good spirits. And then we've got 2.5 hours now, and then we're off to Singapore later on today. So very much looking forward to that. I think I might stay outside here just for a little bit longer, just enjoy this beautiful weather. And then I might head back inside. It's just, I've never been to this airport before, so I really have no idea what's on the international departure side of things. I really don't think there'll be too much in there. So, you know, I might sort of be getting in a bit early if I head straight in there now. I think I might just try and enjoy this weather a bit more. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining along in this long overdue video. As mentioned, good 7 months since I've flown, 7 months since I've made a video, but it's great to get back into them. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And if you could hit the like button, that does help the videos. Helps me out a little bit too, so I really appreciate that, guys. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next one when we're flying from where I am right now here in Darwin over to Singapore. So that's going to be an interesting one too. Even though it's on, a Qantas 737, that flight has only just started back after almost 19 years. I think they had would have been March, so about 3 months ago when they had the first flight back. So it's still pretty fresh and I'm looking forward to it. At least on this flight, I have some IFE to look forward to. But anyways, guys, thank you very much once again, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.